Good morning, folks. Welcome to Joe's Bench 506. We have on the bench this morning a Kenwood KA-4006. It's on the bench, all of it, and he wants it serviced. He's saying there's a few issues with it. He hears a pop when he turns it on the left channel. I think he says sometimes the left channel is weaker than the right. I'm not sure. So we're here to test this. We're here to give it a good service. I'm not sure if this was open before, but I believe it was never serviced before. And we're going to power this on and see what I can detect on here. Relay just kicked in. I'm using about 1 amp. The voltage is really good on this. And so far so good. I'm going to put a sound through this and see what it actually sounds like before we open this up, okay? I'm not a witch, I just work from okay, the music sounds nice. I don't see anything wrong with this at all. It probably needs a little bit of cleaning, but I mean, it sounds nice, you know. Okay. I'll shut it off and see if I can't get the pop. We're going to shut it off and we're going to open this up and check a few things. First of all, I should check if I have any DC voltage. Okay. See that. No DC voltage, but this thing is working like it should. I'm going to power this off and then we're going to go check. This thing is kind of flawless. Right now, I don't see any issues at all with this. Okay, we're going to open this up. This veneer is so beautiful. Nothing wrong with this at all. Check this out, eh? Big transformer. There's my outputs here. This is the power amp right up there. We'll be checking some capacitors on here. There's my big filter capacitors. And these are all my switches. Okay. That looks pretty clean, eh? Nice. It's very nice. All right. I'm going to give you some voltage on my outputs. There's my plus 36. And these would be my minus 36. So these outputs are working like they should. Everything is normal so far. Finding absolutely no issues. Do notice the case on the relay is kind of loose. I'm not sure if somebody was in there already. In order to check some capacitors on here, I'm going to have to take this board off. And one screw here. And there it is. Beautiful. Just checking if I see any faulty soldering, and which I'm not. I don't see anything. Everything everything seems to be working great so far. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to check some of these capacitors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 or 11, 12 capacitors, and we'll check them all. This one here is pretty crummy. Right here. There's no bulging, no. Everything seems to be okay, but this is the bottom part of the power amp. Okay, I was all done with the power amp board. I've checked every single capacitor on that board. Everything is A-okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I put it back together, and I did clean the relay. I didn't see any issue there either. So right now, I'm taking the front plate off. There's a couple of capacitor on here. I do believe that he said that every issue that he was having was on the phono. That maybe we have an issue on the phono section. Maybe some of these capacitors are weak or dried up. So in order to do a good job, I'm gonna have to take that out of there by taking the front plate off. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just a couple of screws here. I've already taken the knobs off, as you could tell. There we go. All right. And off comes this plate. Now, this is the only one that I need to take out of there. We'll take it out. I lost my adapter for this. I need to buy another one. There we go. So by exposing this, I want to take this board out of there, so I need to take the nut off of this. And there's a screw there. Like right about there. And I don't suspect any issues there, but I told him that I was going to check all the capacitors, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just exposing this circuit board, so I'll be able to check. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 6 capacitors on this board. And he was saying that he's having an issue on the phono section. So this would be the phono section, I believe. So let's check these capacitors. That's a good cap. Good cap. Don't expect any issues at all. So they're all good. All the caps are good and it's checked. Don't see anything at all. The soldering is really good on here as well. Now that I've got this exposed, I'll spray some stuff on there. This is good to go back there. just check some capacitors on there. These are 470. Last 470. So is this one. So this is all good. Put this back. Okay, just wanted you two guys to see, in order to get to these boards, you just need to get these 4 screws on each side here. And this thing comes loose and you have full access to this board underneath. It's really hard to get at if you don't do this. Well, actually it's impossible to do. So in order for me to check these capacitors and to put some really good contacts on these potentiometers here, there's 2 of those, I just needed to do that. So it only takes a couple of seconds and you guys are good to go. All right, so this way here, I'm free to check. There's quite a bit of capacitors on here. Some of them are pretty small as well, so I'm kind of concerned about them. And I want to check them. There you go. This is good. And I'm going to check some of the soldering as well, now that I have it apart. Making sure everything is up to par with this. Everything is A-okay. So now I have access to spraying some contact in here. There we go, putting this back in now. No issues at all. I'm going to be able to spray some on all these switches here as well. Okay. Now this is ready to go back. You can get one line up here all set. I've done quite a few boards here and taken them apart and all that stuff. So I'm at a point where everything is put back together. I'm just going to power it on and see if everything is okay here. Relay just kicked in. Not using any power. So everything that I've done so far has been the same, or I'm sure it's going to be better spray that I put on these pots and these switches. So I'm pretty sure. And these are the ones that were really hard to get, these two right down on the bottom, and I check all the capacitors as well. And capacitors are less than an ohm in resistance. These capacitors are bang on. So I'm going to keep it the way it is. That's what the customer wants anyway. All he wanted me to do is check everything around, clean some of the pots. He was saying that he was hearing some noise when he turns it on. The left was maybe a little weaker. I do believe that he had a lot of issues with these pots, and they were kind of dirty. He was saying that he had sprayed some stuff on there, but some of those back here are almost impossible to get unless you take this apart. So he's gonna be okay now. Okay. I'm gonna give these switches some cleaning. It's really dirty. I wanted to show you what Kenwood did. These are all grounds here. There's one ground there, there's two over there. What I like about those is that these are not screwed in. This is soldered right to the chassis. These things can never get loose. They're soldered right down to the chassis. And I think it's pretty good. What I'm gonna do next is I am going to check some bias, see what I am supposed to be getting with bias. I don't suspect anything or any change needs to be done with the bias because the outputs were never touched. But just curiosity though, I wouldn't mind knowing what my bias is going to be reading, and I'll be checking my bias between the two emitter resistor. This would be the left and the right over here. I'll be putting my probes in between one of each channel, and that should give me approximately the bias that I need. And I did check for DC voltage. There's absolutely none. And then we'll do a power test on this once everything is all cleaned up. Right now I'm waiting for this to warm up. All the knobs and the switches are all in here. I'm gonna give her a good cleaning. They were quite dirty. Okay, so we're coming along pretty good. I'll have this up and running in no time. The customer will be able to pick this up today. It's Friday. I'm sure he's waiting for this. Time right here, it's still the morning. I finished my night shift last night, and I'm off 4 days, so I'm gonna be able to do a little bit of work here in the shop, and I'm gonna try to get this guy back and operational for the weekend. You'll be able to listen to some music. Anyways, we're coming along with this, and no issues at all with this. This is just a beautiful, beautiful amplifier. I'm ready to put the front plate on, and that's what it's gonna be. Okay, these have all been cleaned. Looks nice, eh? So I'm good to put this back on there. I'll see. Nice and clean. Everything is back to normal. Okay, put it all back together. And what is next is going to be I'm going to power this on and let it run for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to put my probes to both emitter resistor on each left and right, and we'll see what we're reading. I don't suspect that we need to adjust anything. We've never changed anything. There, my emitters are right here. One probe there, and the other one back here. And we're gonna power this on, full power. Well, my multimeter is reading absolutely nothing. Could that be possible? But I'm almost positive that that's where it is. I am going to try the other channel. Check this out, eh? I'm reading absolutely 0 on the left, eh? This is, I'm set to millivolts. But as soon as I touch this, this is the trim pod right here. So look, watch this. This was like shut right off. So it was kind of set this way. 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on pause and I'm going to do some research. Okay guys, we're at the bias section right now. I've checked this whole amplifier and there's absolutely, couldn't find any major issues with this. A couple of days ago when I tried the bias, I wasn't registering anything. It was at 0 millivolts. I went online for the service manual for this particular Kenwood. We should be setting the bias at about 30 millivolts. So right now I'm on the left channel, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. There's my 2 probes here, the left channel. This would be the right on this side. I'm on each side of the emitter resistors, and that is giving me 42 millivolts. And according to service manual for this particular amplifier, I should be setting this to around 30. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to bring this down to about 30. This has been on for at least 5 minutes. Maybe I'll let it run for another 5 minutes and then we'll see what we've got. So I'm pretty set to 42. I wish I could get my other screwdriver. This could be a good one. So I'm going to attempt to do the millivolts here in a bit. I'm going to adjust this to about 30 millivolts. That's what Kenwood is asking for, so I think we should do that. There's 29, it's responding well. Use a little bit of touching here and there, and we tweak this up. There, this is the better one. Okay, Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to touch this a little bit to bring this down to 30, or as close to 30 as I can. There's 30.3. That is superb, and that would be for the left channel. And what I'll do is I'll bring you guys closer to this, and we'll actually zoom in for the right channel. So very carefully, I'm going to unhook the left channel, and we'll hook it up on the right side. Okay, so the emitter resistor on each side of both of them, I should be getting a reading on my multimeter, and I do. 37.6. So I want to bring this closer to 30 as I can. I'll zoom you out so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we'll use this trimmer pod for the right. We'll bring this down. .4, 30.5. What do you guys think? I think that's good. 40.7. All right. Give her another kick. .3, 30.2. Look at that. Okay, so the bias would be set properly for this Kenwood. So I'm safe to take my probes out of there very carefully. There. So the bias is set. Not sure if we check the DC voltage, but the DC voltage is bang on this. Checked it before. This is millivolts. That's pretty good. And we'll check the right channel. And the right channel is at 6-7 millivolts. That's perfect. No DC voltage. So we're all set to go. What I'm going to do next. Okay, so we're about to put the Kenwood under pressure. I'm gonna give it a frequency of 1,000 hertz through a scope, and we'll mute the speakers though, and I want to see how many watts per channel I'm getting with this. So this is rated at 34 watts per channel. I'm pretty sure we might get that, maybe more. Okay, so this has been powered on for probably about 10-15 minutes. I'll bring you guys closer. Beautiful Kenwood. And you guys are able to see the scope as well. I've got 1,000 hertz frequency. I don't want to hear this, and then we'll put this under an 8 ohm load. I have this on my auxiliary, and let's crank this up a little bit. There's the wave. I'm at 10 volts per division. I do have some distortion though, but I'm wide open. I can't go any further than this. I've got a little bit of flat line on top there, so we'll need to kick this back when the flat line is at 18 volts per division on both channels. Okay, I'll bring this back a little bit, just about there, 17.6. I've got a nice wave there. There's the wave there. There's my balance knob. And I think the balance knob needs to be cleaned a little bit more. and we shall do that. But anyways, so we're at 17.6. Okay guys, this is what the Pioneer is pushing. Looks pretty nice inside here. Okay. This will wrap up the service on this Kenwood. I'm going to put the top back on. The customer is probably waiting for this. And we'll see how it goes. I think he's going to be pretty happy. We've cleaned most of it. Is probably dirty pots and switches as well. I cleaned that. I did clean the relay. Took it apart and cleaned it a little bit. It wasn't really that dirty. And I should check the voltage after I've set the bias on this. Remember I had 36 volts on my outputs. After setting the bias, I just want to see what voltage I would get if I was... So after setting the bias, it's gone down to about half a volt on each filter capacitors, and of course this would be my outputs as well. Okay, so my outputs would be 35, and I know they were 36 plus. So we've set it to 30 millivolts for each channel, and I think it's going to work great. It's a nice clean Kenwood. I really like the knobs here. It's a really nice system. Okay, so I'm going to put the top back on, and we'll call this a day. All right. Okay guys, this wraps it up for this Kenwood KA-4006. If you liked the video, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it.